Bullied teen saves a stray dog, never knowing it would one day save her life. Lily Chen read the headline from her journal entry and closed the worn, leather-bound book with trembling fingers. 3 years had passed since that rainy October evening when fate had intertwined her life with a pair of soulful brown eyes peering from beneath a dumpster, yet the memory remained as vivid as yesterday's sunrise. The cold metal of her locker pressed against Lily's shoulder as she tried to make herself smaller, invisible, 15 years old and already a master at disappearing. She kept her head down, dark hair falling like a curtain around her face as she fumbled with the combination lock. "Hey, China doll. Still can't speak English?" Amber Morris's voice carried down the hallway, followed by the predictable chorus of laughter from her followers. 3 years at Westlake High, and the nickname still cut like a fresh wound. Lily was Chinese-American, born and raised in this small Midwestern town, her English as perfect as anyone else's. But silence had become her shield. Words only gave them more ammunition. She clutched her books tighter against her chest, the edges digging into her ribs. Just 20 more minutes until final bell. 20 minutes to endure. Breathe in, breathe out. What's wrong? Cat got your tongue? Amber moved closer, her perfume, something expensive and cloying, invading Lily's space. Or should I say dog? Isn't that what your people eat? The hallway erupted in laughter. Lily's cheeks burned, her throat tightening around a knot of humiliation. She hadn't cried at school since 7th grade. She wouldn't start now. "Miss Morris." Mr. Harrington's voice cut through the laughter like a blade. "My classroom." "Now?" Amber rolled her eyes, but the math teacher's stern expression left no room for argument. As she sauntered away, she brushed deliberately against Lily's shoulder, sending her books tumbling to the floor. "Oops," she whispered. "So clumsy." Lily knelt to gather her scattered belongings, fingers trembling slightly as she collected loose papers. The final bell rang, and students rushed past, some stepping carelessly over her notes, others pretending not to notice her at all. Invisibility had its price. The walk home was Lily's daily reprieve. 3 miles of solitude along the creek path, where maple trees whispered secrets overhead and wild Queen Anne's lace nodded in the autumn breeze. Here she could breathe again. Here, the tightness in her chest slowly unraveled with each step away from Westlake High. Dark clouds gathered on the horizon as she crossed the old railroad bridge, promising an evening storm. She should hurry. Her mother would worry if she was caught in the rain, but something about the approaching tempest matched her mood. The wind picked up, carrying the scent of damp earth and distant thunder. That's when she heard it, a faint whimper, barely audible above the rustling leaves. Lily paused, cocking her head. There it was again, coming from beneath the bridge. Curiosity drew her down the embankment, sneakers sliding on loose gravel. The space under the bridge was a shadowy cavern of concrete and rusted metal. Discarded beer cans and cigarette butts testified to teenage gatherings, but there was no one here now. Just the sound, weaker this time. "Hello?" Her voice echoed against the concrete walls. "Is someone there?" A movement caught her eye, something shifting in the shadows behind a pile of discarded trash. Lily approached cautiously, phone flashlight illuminating the darkness. 2 eyes reflected the light, frightened and feverish. A dog, no, a puppy, cowered against the wall. Its ribs pressed against filthy matted fur, legs trembling with the effort to stand. A frayed rope, crusted with dirt and what looked disturbingly like blood, hung from its neck. "Hey there," Lily whispered, crouching low. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The puppy, some kind of shepherd mix she guessed, bared its teeth in a half-hearted warning. Its right front paw was swollen to twice its normal size, angry red lines streaking up the leg. "You're hurt." She set her backpack down slowly. "And scared. I get that." Rain began to patter against the bridge above them, a gentle drumming that grew steadily more insistent. The puppy whimpered again, collapsing onto its side, strength apparently exhausted. Lily knew what her mother would say. They could barely afford to feed themselves in their tiny apartment. A dog was out of the question, especially a sick one that would need a vet, especially when medical bills from Dad's final illness still arrived with red "past due" stamps that made Mom's lips press into a thin, worried line. But as the rain fell harder and the puppy's eyes began to close, Lily made her decision. Shrugging off her jacket, she approached slowly, talking in a low, soothing voice. "I'm going to help you, okay? You can bite me if you need to, but I'm still going to help you." The dog didn't resist as she gently wrapped it in her jacket. It felt impossibly light in her arms, a bundle of bones and matted fur. As she lifted it, the puppy's head lolled against her chest, and Lily felt something crack open inside her, something that had been tightly sealed for a very long time. "I've got you," she whispered, tears mingling with raindrops on her cheeks. "I've got you now." The storm broke in earnest as Lily struggled up the embankment, her precious bundle cradled against her chest. By the time she reached the apartment complex, she was soaked to the skin, shivering almost as badly as the puppy in her arms. "Mom's going to kill me," she murmured to the dog as she fumbled with her key. "But we'll figure something out. I promise." The apartment was empty. Her mother wouldn't be home for hours, working a double shift at the hospital cafeteria. Lily carried the puppy straight to the bathroom, laying it gently on a towel while she filled the tub with lukewarm water. "This might hurt a little," she warned, carefully unwrapping her jacket. The dog was even worse in the harsh bathroom light. Besides the infected paw, patches of fur were missing, revealing raw skin underneath. Its ribs and hip bones jutted out painfully, and when Lily carefully removed the frayed rope, she had to swallow back bile at the raw wound encircling the puppy's neck. "Who did this to you?" she whispered, gently sponging dirt from the trembling animal. "How could anyone do this?" The puppy's eyes, rich amber flecked with gold, watched her with wary resignation, as if it had never known a gentle touch before. Lily talked continuously as she worked, her voice soft in the small bathroom. "I'm Lily. I live here with my mom. It's just us now. Dad died 2 years ago, cancer. Mom works all the time." She wrung out the washcloth. "We're okay, though. We manage." The dog's ears twitched slightly following her voice. "I don't really have friends at school." "Not anymore." She worked a tangle from the dog's tail. "I used to before Dad got sick. Before I became the weird, quiet Asian girl whose father was dying." The bathroom filled with steam as Lily continued her ministrations, gradually revealing a coat that wasn't black after all, but a rich reddish brown. When she'd done all she could, she wrapped the puppy in fresh towels and carried it to her bedroom. "You need a name," she said, arranging a makeshift bed from pillows and an old blanket. "And food. And probably antibiotics for that paw." The puppy had no collar, no tags, nothing to indicate it had ever belonged to anyone who cared. Yet something in those amber eyes spoke of resilience, of a spirit unbroken despite cruelty. "Phoenix," Lily decided, gently stroking the damp fur, "because you're going to rise from the ashes. We both are." When Minli Chen arrived home at 11:30 that night, exhaustion etched in the lines around her eyes, she found her daughter asleep on the floor beside a makeshift dog bed, one hand resting protectively on a small, bandaged puppy. "Lily," she sighed, dropping her purse on the dresser. "What have you done?" The teenager stirred, blinking up at her mother in the half-light. "Mom," she sat up quickly. "I can explain." Minli looked from her daughter to the sleeping dog and back again. "You know we cannot afford—" "She was dying, Mom. Someone hurt her, tied her up, and left her to die." Lily's voice cracked. "I couldn't leave her there. Lily, please." Tears welled in her eyes. "I'll get a job. I'll pay for everything. Just let me save her. Please." Minli sank onto the edge of the bed, the weight of single motherhood, of endless bills and worry pressing down on her shoulders. But something in her daughter's face, an animation, a passion she hadn't seen since before Jonah's illness, gave her pause. "One night?" she finally said. "Tomorrow we take it to the shelter." Lily nodded quickly, relief washing over her face. One night was enough. One night was a start. But one night turned into 2, then 3, as Phoenix's fever broke and the infection in her paw began to respond to the antibiotics Dr. Mendez prescribed, charging only for the medication after Lily explained how she'd found the dog. "Someone tied her up and abandoned her," the veterinarian had said, gently examining the wound around Phoenix's neck. "The rope was too tight. As she grew, it cut into her skin. Will she be okay?" Lily had asked, clutching her mother's hand. "With care, yes. She's young, probably about 4 months old. And she has a fighter's spirit." Dr. Mendez had smiled. "Like someone else I know." Now, 3 weeks later, Phoenix was almost unrecognizable from the skeletal, terrified creature Lily had carried home. Her coat gleamed with health, her paw was healing nicely, and she followed Lily around the apartment with devoted attention. "She's smiling," Lily told her mother over breakfast, as Phoenix lay contentedly at her feet. "Look at her face." Min Lee glanced down at the dog, whose mouth was indeed curved in what appeared to be a gentle smile. Despite her initial reluctance, even she had to admit the animal had brought something vital back into their home, something that had been missing since Jonah's death. "You've kept your promise," she acknowledged, refilling her coffee cup. "The extra shifts at the grocery store, the dog food, the vet bills." Lily nodded eagerly. "And I'm keeping my grades up. And Phoenix is house-trained now, and she doesn't bark when you're sleeping during the day, and—" Min Lee held up a hand, fighting a smile. "Yes, all this is true." She sighed deeply. "I suppose she has become part of our family." The joy that blazed across her daughter's face was worth every chewed shoe and stray dog hair. Min Lee hadn't seen Lily smile like that in years. "Thank you, Mom." Lily threw her arms around her mother. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Phoenix, sensing the excitement, pranced around their legs, tail wagging furiously. "Yes, yes," Min Lee said, patting her daughter's back. "But remember, your responsibilities come first. School, work, then dog." "I promise," Lily said, dropping to her knees to hug Phoenix, who covered her face with enthusiastic licks. "You hear that, Phoenix? You're staying." Min Lee watched them together, her heart both full and aching. Her daughter was smiling again. Perhaps this stray dog was healing more than just her own wounds. What neither Lily nor her mother could have known then was how Phoenix would transform not just their home, but Lily's entire life, or that on a cold winter night 18 months later, the debt of rescue would be repaid in full. Fall gave way to winter, and as the days grew shorter, something remarkable began to happen. Lily started talking again. Not just at home with her mother and Phoenix, but at school. Small things at first, answers in class, brief exchanges with teachers. The words felt rusty in her mouth after so long, but they came more easily each time. It began with Phoenix. The dog needed a voice, and Lily became it. At the park, when children asked if they could pet her, yes, but approach slowly. She's still a little nervous around strangers. At the vet's office, she's limping slightly on her right front paw again. With her mother, Phoenix did the funniest thing today. Words returned, tentatively at first, then with growing confidence. "You've been participating more in class, Mr. Harrington commented one day as Lily gathered her books. "It's good to hear your thoughts." Lily ducked her head, but not before he caught the small smile. "Thanks. Any particular reason for the change?" She hesitated, then pulled out her phone to show him a photo of Phoenix mid-play, tongue lolling, eyes bright with joy. "My dog," she said simply. "She needed me to speak for her, Mr. Harrington studied the photo, then Lily's face. "Looks like you both rescued each other." The words stayed with her all day, a warm glow beneath her ribs. They rescued each other. Yes, that felt right. Phoenix's increasing confidence mirrored Lily's own. The dog who had once cowered at sudden movements now greeted neighbors with a wagging tail. She slept sprawled across Lily's bed instead of wedged defensively in corners. And when Lily woke gasping from nightmares, dreams where her father called for help she couldn't give, Phoenix was there, a warm weight against her side, grounding her in the present with gentle nudges and soulful eyes. The changes extended beyond home. At school, the invisibility that had once been Lily's armor slowly dissolved. Not all at once and not without setbacks, but steadily, persistently, like a creek wearing away stone. It began in English class when Ms. Patel assigned partner presentations on coming-of-age literature. "Lily and Zach," the teacher announced, pairing students from her list. Zach Rodriguez glanced across the room at Lily, offering a tentative smile. Tall and lanky, with perpetually rumpled dark hair, he was quiet like her, though by choice rather than fear, she suspected. She'd seen him passionately debating environmental issues with teachers while avoiding the social chaos of the cafeteria. "We could meet at the library after school," he suggested when class ended. "If that works for you?" Lily nodded, anxiety fluttering in her stomach. "Tomorrow? I have work today." "Tomorrow's perfect." He shouldered his backpack. "Where do you work?" "Garrett's Grocery. I stock shelves and sometimes cashier." "No way. My mom shops there. She's always talking about the nice Chinese girl who bags so carefully." His eyes widened. "Wait, is that you?" Lily felt her cheeks warm. "Probably." "Cool." He smiled again, and Lily was struck by how it transformed his serious face. "See you tomorrow, then." The library meeting stretched from 1 hour to 3 as they discovered shared passions for photography, indie films, and fantasy novels. When Zach showed her his sketchbook, pages filled with intricate drawings of imaginary worlds, Lily found herself sharing stories about Phoenix, pulling up photos and videos on her phone. "She's beautiful," Zach said, studying a picture of Phoenix alert on the couch, ears pricked forward. "Those eyes, it's like she sees everything." "She does," Lily agreed. "Sometimes I think she understands more than people do." Their presentation on the perks of being a wallflower earned them an A, but more importantly, it earned Lily a friend. Zach began joining her for lunch, bringing along his own small circle: Elena, a passionate debate club captain; Darius, whose quiet demeanor masked a wicked sense of humor; and Priya, whose colorful hijabs matched her vibrant personality. "We're the island of misfit toys," Elena declared one day, spreading her homework across their lunch table. "The weird smart kids who don't fit anywhere else." "Speak for yourself," Darius countered. "I'm incredibly cool. Just selective about my audience." Lily laughed, the sound surprising her. How long had it been since she'd laughed at school? They weren't popular. Amber Morris and her crowd still ruled the social hierarchy, but they were no longer alone. Strength in numbers, Lily discovered, changed the dynamics of the hallways. Amber's comments didn't stop entirely, but they lessened, especially after Mr. Harrington caught her tripping Lily outside the cafeteria and assigned her a month of detention. "You should bring Phoenix to the park sometime," Zach suggested one Friday afternoon as they walked home. "My family goes there with our dog on Saturdays, border collie named Einstein. Too smart for his own good." "She'd like that," Lily said. "She loves other dogs." That Saturday marked another milestone: Phoenix's first playdate. Einstein, true to his name, immediately invented a complex game involving a tennis ball, a frisbee, and an elaborate set of rules only he seemed to understand. Phoenix followed along gamely, her tail a constant blur of motion. As the dogs played, Lily found herself talking with Zach's parents. Normal conversation, the kind she'd avoided for years. Mrs. Rodriguez was indeed the customer who appreciated her careful bagging, and Mr. Rodriguez taught at the community college where Lily's mother was taking night classes to become a registered nurse. "Small town," Mr. Rodriguez smiled, passing Lily a soda from their cooler. "Getting smaller," she agreed, watching Phoenix race across the grass, ears flapping joyfully. Winter melted into spring. Phoenix's first birthday, or what they'd designated as her birthday, the day Lily found her, was celebrated with homemade dog treats, a new collar, and a photo session in the park with Zach's new camera. "She's so photogenic," he said, showing Lily a particularly striking shot of Phoenix silhouetted against the sunset. "Those eyes tell a whole story." "Our story?" Lily said softly, scratching behind Phoenix's ears. Zach lowered his camera. "You never really told me. The whole story, I mean. How you found her." So there, as twilight painted the sky in watercolor hues of pink and gold, Lily shared the full tale: the bullying, the isolation, the rainy day beneath the bridge. The words came easily now, flowing like the creek beside them. "She saved me," she concluded, watching Phoenix chase a butterfly through tall grass. "Everyone thinks I saved her, but really she saved me." Zach was quiet for a long moment. "I think," he finally said, "you saved each other." Lily smiled, remembering Mr. Harrington's similar words months ago. "That's what rescue looks like, I guess. It goes both ways." By the following autumn, as Lily began her junior year, the transformation was complete. The silent, withdrawn girl who had once pressed herself against lockers had been replaced by a young woman who spoke in class, laughed with friends, and walked the hallways with quiet confidence. Not the loud, demanding confidence of Amber Morris, but something steadier, more authentic. Phoenix thrived as well. No longer the frightened, wounded puppy, she'd grown into a beautiful shepherd mix with intelligent eyes and boundless energy. The scars remained, a patch of fur that never quite grew back on her neck, a slight limp when she was tired, but they didn't define her. Like owner, like dog? Min Lee observed one evening, watching Lily and Phoenix return from their evening walk, both flushed with exercise and contentment. Life settled into new rhythms. Weekdays were filled with school, work, and studies. Weekends meant hikes with Phoenix and Zach, movie nights with Elena and Priya, study sessions with Darius. Min Lee, now in her final semester of nursing school, often joined them for dinner, her exhaustion tempered by pride in her growing accomplishments. "We're making it, aren't we?" Lily asked her mother one night as they washed dishes side by side, Phoenix dozing nearby. Min Lee glanced at her daughter, taller now, more confident, her face losing the last roundness of childhood. Yes, she said softly. Your father would be so proud of you. Of us, Lily corrected, bumping her mother's shoulder gently. Of all of us, including Phoenix, who had somehow knit their fractured family back together, filling the apartment with the sounds of play and laughter that had been absent for too long. The call came on a Tuesday in December, halfway through Lily's junior year, a rare snow day that had closed schools across the county. Min Lee, now working full-time as an RN at the local hospital, had left before dawn to cover for colleagues who couldn't make it through the snowdrifts. I'll be late, she warned Lily. The roads are treacherous. Don't go out, okay? We won't, Lily promised, already planning a day of hot chocolate, movies, and board games with Zach and Elena, who lived in the same apartment complex. But at noon, as snow continued to fall in thick, silent curtains, her phone rang. Her mother's number flashed on the screen. Mom? Everything okay? Lily. Her mother's voice was tight with tension. I need you to listen carefully. There's been an accident. The world tilted sharply, memories of another phone call, her father collapsing at work, suddenly overlaying the present. Are you hurt? She demanded, already reaching for her boots. No, not me. It's Mrs. Suarez. Elena's mom? Relief gave way to fresh concern. The Suarez family lived on the 3rd floor, directly above them. Yes, she fell on the ice this morning trying to get to work. Compound fracture of her right leg. She's in surgery now. Is Elena with her? Lily was calculating rapidly. Elena's father worked an hour away in the city, probably stranded by the storm. That's why I'm calling. Elena's home alone with her little brother. Mrs. Suarez is worried sick about them. Miguel is only 7, and with this storm, I'll go check on them, Lily said immediately. We're in the same building. It's not like I have to go outside. Thank you, sweetheart. I told her you would. Just make sure they're okay. Maybe bring them down to our apartment until we know more. Of course. Keep me updated on Mrs. Suarez, okay? I will. Be careful, even in the hallways. The power's been flickering here at the hospital. After hanging up, Lily quickly explained the situation to Phoenix, who listened with characteristic intensity, head tilted to one side. We need to check on Elena and Miguel, she concluded, pulling on a sweater. You coming? Phoenix's answer was to trot to the door, tail held high. The hallway was eerily silent as they climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor. Many residents had evacuated to relatives' homes before the storm hit, leaving the building half empty. Elena answered on the first knock, her normally composed face tight with worry. Lily! Did you hear about my mom? Just talked to my mom at the hospital. She's in surgery, but she's going to be okay. Lily stepped inside, Phoenix following closely. How are you guys doing? I'm fine, Elena said automatically, though the dark circles under her eyes suggested otherwise. But Miguel's scared and Dad's stuck in the city and the power keeps going on and off. As if on cue, the lights flickered ominously. Hey, Miguel, Lily called to the small boy huddled under a blanket on the couch. Remember Phoenix? The dog, sensing the child's anxiety, approached slowly, tail wagging gently. Miguel peeked out from his blanket fortress, a small smile breaking through his worried expression. Can she still do tricks? He asked. Even better ones now, Lily assured him, nodding to Phoenix, who promptly sat, offered her paw, and then rolled over in a well-practiced routine. Miguel giggled, momentarily distracted from his concerns. Why don't you guys come down to our apartment? Lily suggested to Elena. We've got hot chocolate, board games, and if the power goes out, we have a camp stove and lanterns from when Dad used to take me camping. The decision was easily made. Within half an hour, they had relocated to the Chen's apartment, where the afternoon passed in a blur of Monopoly, card games, and Phoenix's increasingly elaborate tricks for Miguel's entertainment. Outside, the snow continued to fall. By late afternoon, it had transformed the world into a muffled landscape of white, streetlights coming on early against the darkening sky. The power flickered with increasing frequency as tree branches, heavy with snow, fell across power lines throughout the city. Mom texted, Elena reported, checking her phone. Surgery went well. She'll be in recovery for a few more hours. That's great news, Lily said, setting mugs of hot chocolate on the coffee table. My mom says she'll stay with her until your dad can get there. Miguel, worn out from excitement and worry, had fallen asleep on the couch, Phoenix curled protectively beside him. The dog had hardly left his side all afternoon, somehow sensing his need for comfort. She's amazing with him, Elena observed, watching them. How did she get so good with kids? She's good with anyone who needs her, Lily replied simply. It's like she knows. At 6:17 p.m., the power went out completely, plunging the apartment into sudden darkness. "Whoa," Elena whispered as Lily fumbled for the flashlight she'd kept nearby in anticipation. "It's okay," Lily assured her, the beam illuminating their concerned faces. "I've got lanterns and—" The rest of her sentence was cut off by a strange sound from Phoenix. The dog had lifted her head sharply, ears pricked forward, body suddenly tense. "Phoenix?" Lily directed the flashlight toward her. "What's wrong, girl?" Phoenix stood, dislodging the blanket covering Miguel, who stirred sleepily. The dog's attention was fixed on the apartment door, a low growl building in her throat. "Is someone there?" Elena whispered, moving closer to her brother. Lily approached the door cautiously, Phoenix at her side. "Hello?" she called. "Is anyone—" Phoenix barked suddenly, not her usual friendly greeting, but a sharp, urgent sound Lily had never heard before. Then the dog whirled away from the door, racing back to Miguel. She grabbed the sleeve of his pajamas in her teeth and tugged insistently. "Phoenix! What are you—" The dog wouldn't stop, pulling at the confused child with growing urgency, then running to Lily and Elena, circling back to Miguel, barking continuously. "Something's wrong," Lily realized, a cold dread settling in her stomach. "She's trying to tell us something's wrong." Elena scooped up her brother, now fully awake and frightened. "What do we do?" Phoenix ran to the balcony door, scratching frantically at the glass, then back to the humans, her behavior becoming increasingly frantic. That's when Lily smelled it, a faint acrid scent beneath the familiar smells of home. "Smoke. Fire," she breathed, suddenly understanding Phoenix's panic. "Elena, there's a fire in the building." "Are you sure?" "I don't see—" "Phoenix knows. We need to get out. Now." There was no time for coats, for gathering possessions. Lily grabbed her phone, her keys, and Elena's hand. "Stay low. The hallway might be filled with smoke." But when she opened the apartment door, thick black smoke billowed in, forcing them back, coughing and gasping. "The hallway's blocked," Elena choked out, clutching Miguel tighter as he began to cry. "The balcony," Lily decided, already moving. "We'll have to go out that way." The small balcony overlooked the parking lot, now buried under nearly a foot of snow. In summer, it was a pleasant spot for morning coffee. Now it was their only escape route. "It's too high," Elena protested as Lily slid the glass door open. The bitter cold rushed in, momentarily clearing the smoke that had begun seeping through the apartment. "We're on the second floor!" "We don't have a choice," Lily said, peering over the railing. "Look, there's a snowdrift below. It might break our fall." Phoenix barked again, more urgently now. Through the glass door, they could see flickering orange light reflecting in the hallway. The fire was getting closer. "Miguel first," Lily decided. "Then you, then me and Phoenix." "I'm scared," Miguel sobbed, clinging to his sister. "I know, buddy," Lily said, trying to keep her voice steady. "But Phoenix and I will be right behind you. You trust Phoenix, right? She won't let anything bad happen to you." As if understanding, Phoenix licked the boy's hand, her eyes never leaving his face. "Like jumping into a pool," Lily told him, helping Elena maneuver him over the railing. "Quick and fast and the snow will catch you." With Elena holding his hands, they lowered Miguel as far as possible before letting go. He landed with a soft thump in the snowdrift below, disappearing momentarily before his head popped up again. "I'm okay," he called up, his voice small but clear. "Your turn," Lily told Elena, who was shaking visibly, whether from cold or fear, it was hard to tell. "What about Phoenix? How will you get her down?" "Don't worry about us. We'll figure it out." Elena hesitated, then hugged Lily fiercely. "Be right behind me, okay? Promise." As Elena climbed over the railing and lowered herself down, Lily turned to Phoenix. The smoke was thicker now, stinging her eyes and making it difficult to breathe. The apartment door was hot to the touch. The fire must be just outside. "Okay, girl," she said, kneeling before the dog. "I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going together, all right?" Phoenix whined, pushing her nose against Lily's hand. A crash from inside the apartment made them both jump. Something had fallen, or perhaps a window had broken from the heat. There was no more time. "Come on," Lily urged, lifting Phoenix into her arms. The dog was heavy, nearly 50 pounds of solid muscle, but fear gave Lily strength as she staggered to the balcony railing. Below, Elena and Miguel looked up anxiously, their faces pale smudges against the snow. In the distance, sirens wailed. Help was coming, but not soon enough. "Lily, hurry!" Elena called. Balancing Phoenix awkwardly in her arms, Lily tried to maneuver toward the railing, but the dog's weight was too much. She couldn't climb over while holding her. "Phoenix, I can't." Tears of frustration and fear stung her eyes. "I can't carry you." The smoke was choking her now, black tendrils curling around the balcony door. Behind her, through the glass, she could see flames licking at the hallway wall outside her apartment. Phoenix suddenly squirmed free of her grasp, jumping down to the balcony floor. Before Lily could react, the dog had circled behind her and was pushing against the backs of her legs, nudging her toward the railing. "What are you doing?" Lily gasped, stumbling forward. "Phoenix, stop! We go together!" But the dog continued pushing, barking sharply when Lily tried to turn back to grab her. "No," Lily sobbed, understanding dawning horribly. "No, I won't leave you." Phoenix barked again, then sat back on her haunches. In the orange glow from the fire, her eyes locked with Lily's, conveying a message as clear as words. "Go." Now, "Lily, please?" Elena's desperate voice floated up from below. A crash from inside the apartment, the ceiling collapsing or a wall giving way, decided it. With one last agonized look at Phoenix, Lily climbed over the railing, lowered herself as far as she could, and let go. The fall seemed to take forever and no time at all. Then impact. The breath knocked from her lungs as she plunged deep into the snowdrift. For one terrifying moment, she couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then hands were pulling her up, brushing snow from her face. "Lily? Are you okay?" Elena's frantic voice penetrated the ringing in her ears. "Phoenix." Lily gasped, struggling to her feet, ignoring the pain in her ankle. "Phoenix is still up there." She looked up in time to see the dog pacing the balcony, smoke billowing around her. "Jump, Phoenix!" she screamed. "Jump, girl!" But the balcony was too high for a dog to willingly leap from. Phoenix continued pacing, barking down at them, but wouldn't jump. "Please," Lily begged, tears freezing on her cheeks. "Please, Phoenix." "Jump!" The flames were visible now, licking at the balcony door. Phoenix made one more circuit, then disappeared back into the smoke-filled apartment. "No!" Lily screamed, starting toward the building entrance. "Phoenix!" Elena caught her arm. "Lily, you can't go back in there." "I have to. She saved us. I can't leave her." But even as she fought against Elena's restraining grip, Lily knew it was impossible. The entrance was engulfed in flames, the entire second floor now ablaze. Firefighters had arrived, hoses deploying, voices shouting orders, but it was too late. Too late for Phoenix. Lily sank to her knees in the snow, a keening wail tearing from her throat. Around her, neighbors gathered in shock, emergency vehicles bathing the scene in pulsing red light. But all she could see was Phoenix's eyes, those soulful amber eyes that had trusted her, that had seen her when no one else did. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed as paramedics approached with blankets. "I'm so sorry I couldn't save you." The fire raged for hours, consuming half the apartment building before firefighters finally contained it. Lily, Elena, and Miguel were treated for smoke inhalation and minor injuries, then released to the care of Min Lee, who had rushed from the hospital as soon as she heard. "Everything's gone," Lily whispered as they sat in the emergency room waiting area. "Everything. Phoenix." Her mother held her tightly, rocking slightly as she had when Lily was small. "Shh, you're alive. You got Elena and Miguel out safely. That's what matters." "Because of Phoenix," Lily insisted, her voice raw from smoke and crying. "She knew. She made us leave. She saved us and I left her there. You had no choice," Min Lee said firmly. Phoenix knew that too, but the words brought no comfort. As dawn broke over the smoking ruins of their home, Lily felt a void opening inside her, a phoenix-shaped hole that nothing could ever fill. They stayed with Zach's family that night and the next, while Min Lee made arrangements for temporary housing. The community rallied quickly around the fire victims, clothing drives, fundraisers, offers of spare rooms. In the midst of this generosity, Lily moved like a ghost, speaking only when spoken to, eating only when reminded. The fire marshal says it started with an electrical short in the hallway. Min Lee reported after meeting with officials. The old wiring, the strain of the storm. Lily nodded mechanically, not really hearing. What did it matter how it started? Phoenix was gone. On the third day after the fire, as Lily sat staring out the Rodriguez's living window at the falling snow, Zach sat down beside her. "They're still searching," he said quietly. "The fire crews. They go back every day." Lily didn't respond. She knew what he was trying to do, but hope was a luxury she couldn't afford. She'd seen the flames, felt the heat. Nothing could have survived. "I'm going over there," Zach continued, "to take pictures of what they're doing for the community paper. Do you want to come?" She shook her head. "I can't." "Okay." He hesitated, then added, "Elena's mom is coming home from the hospital today. Miguel made her a welcome home card. He drew Phoenix on it, said she's their guardian angel now." Tears welled in Lily's eyes. She brushed them away impatiently. "She is." Zach left soon after, camera bag slung over his shoulder, promising to be back for dinner. Lily continued her vigil by the window, watching snowflakes dance in the winter light. Her phone buzzed occasionally with messages from friends, but she couldn't summon the energy to respond. The short December day was fading into dusk when her phone rang, Zach's ringtone. She almost didn't answer, but some small spark of duty made her reach for it. "Hello? Lily." His voice was strange, tight, breathless. "Lily, you need to come to the clinic." "Doctor?" "Mendez's clinic. Right now." Her heart stuttered. "What? Why? What's happened?" "Just come. Mr. Rodriguez is getting the car. We'll be there in 5 minutes to pick you up." "Zach, tell me what—" "Please, Lily. Just be ready." The line went dead. Lily stared at the phone, confusion momentarily displacing grief. What could possibly be so urgent at the vet's clinic? Unless... She wouldn't let herself think it. Couldn't bear to hope and be wrong. Mr. Rodriguez drove in silence, his usual cheerful conversation absent. Zach sat in the back seat with Lily, fidgeting with his camera, avoiding her questioning gaze. "Please," she finally said as they pulled into the clinic parking lot. "Just tell me what's going on." Zach took her hand, his eyes suddenly bright with unshed tears. "They found her, Lily. One of the firefighters. She was in the bathtub, under a fallen section of ceiling that protected her from the worst of the fire. Barely breathing but alive." The world stopped, restarted, stopped again. "Phoenix?" Her voice was barely a whisper. "Phoenix is alive? She's in rough shape," he warned. "Doctor, Mendez isn't sure, but she's fighting." Lily was out of the car before it fully stopped, racing through the clinic doors. The receptionist, recognizing her immediately, pointed toward the back. "Room 3, she said. "Doctor, Mendez is expecting you." The examination room was crowded. Dr. Mendez, a vet tech, and a soot-stained firefighter turned as she burst in, but Lily saw none of them. Her eyes were fixed on the table, where a singed, bandaged form lay very still, attached to tubes and monitors. "Phoenix," she breathed, approaching slowly. The dog's fur was burned away in patches, white bandages covering much of her body. An oxygen mask covered her muzzle, and IV lines ran into her front leg. But as Lily spoke her name, one ear twitched slightly, and then, miracle of miracles, her tail moved. Just the barest flicker, but unmistakable. "She heard you?" "Doctor," Mendez said softly. "She's been unresponsive since they brought her in, but she heard you." Lily moved to the table, gently laying her hand on one of the few unmarked patches of fur on Phoenix's head. "I'm here, girl," she whispered. "I'm right here." Phoenix's eyes, those soulful amber eyes, fluttered open briefly, clouded with pain but unmistakably aware. They found Lily's face, held for a heartbeat, then closed again as the dog sighed deeply. "Is she—" Lily couldn't finish the question. "She's very weak." "Doctor," Mendez said honestly, "smoke inhalation, burns, dehydration. The next 24 hours will be critical." "But she made it 3 days trapped in that apartment. I wouldn't bet against her now." The firefighter stepped forward, a woman with kind eyes in a weary face. "She was in the bathtub," she explained. "Smart dog. Wettest place in an apartment during a fire. And the ceiling fell in a way that created a pocket of air. Still, it's a miracle she survived." "She's a miracle," Lily said, not taking her eyes from Phoenix. "My miracle." The road to recovery was long and painful for both Phoenix and the Chen family. The apartment building was a total loss, and though insurance covered some of their possessions, starting over was difficult. They found a small rental house closer to the hospital where Minley worked, a blessing in disguise, with a fenced yard that would be perfect for Phoenix once she was well enough to come home. Phoenix remained at the animal hospital for 3 weeks, fighting infections, undergoing skin grafts for the worst burns, slowly regaining her strength. Lily visited every day after school, reading homework aloud, sharing gossip, or simply sitting in companionable silence as Phoenix slept. "She responds differently when you're here, Doctor," Mendez observed. "Her vitals improve, she eats better. She's healing faster because of you." We heal each other, Lily replied, remembering what both Mr. Harrington and Zach had said months ago. That's what we do. By February, Phoenix was well enough to come home to the little rental house. Her beautiful coat would forever be patched with scars, and her limp was more pronounced, but her spirit remained unbroken. If anything, the fire had forged something new in her, a calm wisdom that settled around her like a mantle. Word of Phoenix's heroism spread through the community. The local newspaper ran a front-page story with Zach's photographs, "Dog Saves Family from Apartment Fire." A crowdfunding campaign to cover her medical expenses exceeded its goal within hours. The mayor presented her with a custom dog tag engraved with "Hero of Westlake." But the most meaningful recognition came on a quiet March afternoon as Lily and Phoenix walked slowly through the park, enjoying the first hints of spring. A familiar voice called out behind them, "Hey, China doll!" Lily turned, instinctively tensing at the old nickname. Amber Morris stood a few feet away, shifting uncomfortably from foot to foot. "Don't call me that," Lily said quietly, one hand dropping to Phoenix's head. "Sorry." Amber looked genuinely abashed. "Old habit. I wanted to say..." She paused, struggling visibly. "Your dog." What she did. It was amazing. Phoenix watched the exchange with interest, head tilted slightly. "Yes," Lily agreed. "She is amazing." An awkward silence stretched between them, years of history hanging in the air. "I was wrong," Amber finally blurted. "About you. I was jealous, I think. You were always so smart and quiet, and my parents were always like, why can't you be more focused like that Chen girl, and..." She shrugged helplessly. "I was awful to you. I'm sorry." The words Lily had once longed to hear now seemed strangely unimportant. She studied Amber's face, the uncertainty, the genuine regret, and felt the last knot of something old and painful loosen inside her chest. "Thank you for saying that," she said simply. Amber nodded, relief washing over her face. "Well, anyway, I just wanted to tell you that, and that your dog is a hero." She took a step back. "See you around, Lily." As Amber walked away, Phoenix looked up at Lily, tail wagging questioningly. "It's okay," Lily told her, bending to press a kiss between her ears. "We're okay." And they were, more than okay. By the following autumn, as Lily began her senior year, life had settled into new rhythms once more. The rental house had become home, filled with both new possessions and salvaged treasures. Minley's nursing career was thriving, her confidence growing with each passing month. Lily's circle of friends had expanded further, and colleges were beginning to send recruitment materials, opportunities she would never have considered before Phoenix came into her life. Phoenix herself had become something of a local celebrity. Children called greetings to her on walks, neighbors brought treats, and she'd even visited the elementary school as part of a fire safety presentation. The physical scars remained, but they only added to her dignity, the visible proof of her courage. On Phoenix's second birthday, the anniversary of the day Lily found her beneath the bridge, they returned to that spot together. The creek gurgled peacefully, autumn leaves spiraling down to float on its surface. Phoenix, sensing the significance of the place, pressed close against Lily's leg. 2 years? Lily marveled, settling on a large rock near the water's edge. "Can you believe it?" Phoenix sighed contentedly, resting her head on Lily's knee. "You know, when I found you, I thought I was saving you." Lily stroked the dog's scarred head gently. "But that's not really what happened, is it? You were saving me all along." Phoenix's amber eyes, wise and loving, gazed up at her. "Bullied teen saves a stray dog, never knowing it would one day save her life," Lily murmured, the words of her old journal entry coming back to her. "But that wasn't quite right either. Because you saved me from the very beginning. From loneliness, from silence, from invisibility. The fire was just the most obvious way." The dog's tail thumped against the rocky ground as if in agreement. As the sun began to set, painting the creek in shades of gold and amber, Lily pulled out her phone and took a selfie with Phoenix, their faces side by side, both bearing the invisible marks of their journey together. She posted it online with a simple caption, "2 years ago I thought I rescued a dog. Today I realized every day in 1,000 small ways we rescue each other. That's what love is." Phoenix, as if understanding the sentiment, pressed closer, a warm presence against the autumn chill. Together they watched the daylight fade, two survivors who had found in each other the courage to rise from the ashes, changed, scarred, but infinitely stronger than before.